It's almost over. A week from now, we finally get what was promised for 14 months ago. But with COVID denied us. Next week, we walk into that movie theater, we sit down with our popcorn and our drinks. We will, full of excitement, of course, talk to our partners, family, friends. The lights will go out for commercials and previews, and then the church music will start. I can't wait for that Marvel fanfare. One more week. Hello and welcome to the Reviews Champions. It's time to talk about Loki episode 4. Before we do, I will introduce our panel for today. Voice only from the great beyond, Mr. Lord Deathman.
Hey everyone.
From Texas, we have Mr. Taylor First.
Ready to go.
And joining us again from the MCU's Bleeding Edge, and well, basically you're now a regular member, Jeff. Jeff from the MCU's Bleeding Edge.
Hey everybody, good to be here as usual.
Yeah, we're really happy you joined us today. We are going to talk about the episode 4 in a minute, but before we start, I would like to ask you to hit that like and subscribe button on YouTube and maybe join our forum on sakar.freeforums.net. We love to see you there. And of course, as always, make sure to check out the YouTube channel of the MCU's Bleeding Edge. Jeff is making some great content over there. Well, we're going to talk spoilers now. So if you haven't seen the episodes, just go watch it and join our video at a later moment. We hope. Well, Loki, episode 4. We've all seen it. I want to make a little statement before we started, because the last few weeks I have been a little bit hard on this show. Well, episode 4 turned that around for me completely. So I will not be as critical anymore. It really changed the show for me. Did it also change the show for you, Jeff?
Yeah, you know what? It's really nice to hear that from you, Grandmaster. I mean, that's kind of like I don't want to say I haven't gotten that many opinions so far. I haven't gone on YouTube yet and caught any like of the YouTube reviews or anything like that, or like the like the new rock stars Easter egg videos that they do. I haven't like watched any of that yet. I'm waiting on that. But I have already done 2 Loki episode 4 reviews, and I'm doing another one tomorrow night, and then I'm going to do another one sometime next week. So I'm going to end up doing 5 of them by the time I'm done, which is going to be interesting. But I think it's great to hear you say that, because I feel like that's really where I'm at, and it's nice to have contrast when it comes to like opinions, when it comes to this Marvel stuff and like Loki and the series. But at the same time, it's nice to see some common ground in certain areas. And I really felt like I was pretty optimistic that going into episode 4, just based off of my take from episode 3, I thought that's how things would work out. That like it would cut the show would bounce back and give us an episode where some of like the people who are like kind of maybe naysaying a little bit, would come around and see like the full arc of the story from episode 3 revolved or kind of like continued and how it played out. I feel like I think this was like another almost another complete like surprising type of ending, like another like life or death kind of scenario kind of ending. Just like episode 3, it's just cool that they had like that much going on at the in like episode 3 at the end of it, and now in episode 4, with things ending the way it did, and then the mid-credit scene and everything. Not that I want to get too far ahead. I just feel like they really built a lot of suspense up, for me at least.
Yes, they did. For me, it absolutely stood out. There was a lot going on there, character-wise and story-wise. But we will get into that a little bit later. Taylor, what did you think about this week's episode of Loki?
I thought it was a great episode. I thought it did a really good job of advancing the story. The Mobius and the other Hunter in the TVA realizing that they are in fact variants themselves, and their memories were wiped. One through the experience of being enchanted, and the other through being told by Loki and then doing his own investigation and unraveling it. And I thought that was very well handled. And then of course them getting captured by I never remember the character's name, Raven something, Gugu Mbatha Ra character, capturing them and taking them before the timekeepers. We finally got to see the timekeepers, and then a big fight, and found out the timekeepers were fake, but not before Mobius himself got pruned, which was a pretty shocking scene when it happened, because we don't know, at that time we didn't know what pruning meant, and we still don't completely know what happens when you get pruned, until the end credit scene where we did see when Loki got pruned, which was also shocking. I thought for a second there, is he gone, or is this the last we've seen of Loki? And now it's going to be Sylvie's show for the rest of the duration, until that mid-credit scene, which was, just incredible, where he wakes up somewhere in some desolate, destroyed city with a bunch of other Lokis who've obviously, I guess, been pruned as well.
How many Lokis did you spot?
Including Hiddleston, there was 5.
Yeah, actually. So
because the alligator is a Loki, I'm guessing, because he had a helmet on, like Loki.
He had the horns on.
Yes, he had the horns. And the title of the episode was the Nexus event. So when they were on the planet that was being destroyed, it created a branch, and which the TVA were referring to as a Nexus event, and they were trying to figure out what caused it. And it seems to me what caused it was 2 Lokis coming together, whether that was coming together romantically or coming together just working together or what. But I think that's what caused the branch. That's the threat to the TVA, is multiple gods of mischief getting together, even when it's happening in the middle of an apocalypse, apparently. They're that afraid of it. But yeah, great episode. And I've seen a couple of people online criticizing Sylvie and the character and the actress, and I disagree completely. I think she's doing a great job, and I think she adds a lot to the show. So yeah, I'm perfectly happy. Also like the fight scene in the throne room before they beheaded the robot lizard man there. I thought it was all very cool.
Yeah, the android beheaded. Beheading of the androids, we already seen in WandaVision, of course, as well. Sophia Di Martino is doing an excellent job as Sylvie, or female Loki. No complaints from my side about the acting. Lord Deathman, what did you think?
Well, it's no secret that last week I was somewhat disappointed with the quality of that episode. And I have to say, for this episode, the Nexus event, Disney has certainly turned it around. This was a fantastic episode. In fact, I am going to go all the way out on a Loki limb and say this was my favorite episode of Disney television thus far in any of the series that they've done so far. It was really that good. It was great to get back to the Loki Mobius dynamic. I don't know why I'm so just enamored of the way those 2 actors and the 2 characters work together, the way they have so much in common and yet they're so different from each other. It was just so great to get back to that dynamic, to see them facing off against each other at the opposite sides of an interrogation table was great. The back and forth, the banter. Ren Slayer, her acting was a bit telegraphed in terms of her being lying and duplicitous, but just like a big stage play, not necessarily a bad thing that it was obvious that she was being deceptive. But I loved her performance, being so over the top and kind of almost doing some teeth gnashing and mustache twirling as you got into the episode. I love the pacing, the references around Kree and Titans and vampires, keeping you firmly rooted in our beautiful MCU that's just growing like this weed, as Zola would say. Just a fantastic episode all around. But some of the things that really stood out to me, obviously, the throne room sequence, the action sequences there, the reveal on the Time Lords, and not just like the reveal that they were fake, but the reveal of the Time Lords themselves. I'm like, they're really doing it. They're talking. They're sitting on these thrones, and they had this weird sort of animatronic CG thing going on that I saw a lot of people on the internet were like, oh, they look so fake and this and that and the other thing. But I was like, they looked really creepy because they were partially animatronic and partially CG'd out. I just thought they were like brilliant diversionary inventions. And then to find out that it was all kind of an elaborate hoax. And the prunings, like, my heart almost stopped when Mobius got it, because I was like, oh, they just took out my man, my favorite character in a long time in the MCU in terms of a new character introduction. But biggest highlight, and also a little egg on my face, I'm going to eat this crow. Last week, I was incredibly hard on the character of Sylvie. I went back and listened to the show. I was like, I don't know what bug was sort of, bothering me at the moment. But last week, Sylvie did seem to be sort of over the top angry and a little, rebellious just for the sake of rebellion. But now that you kind of get that little bit more of her backstory in this episode, where you see she was kidnapped as a child, on the board, I had this sort of riddle that I wanted myself to answer. When is a Loki not a Loki? And I think now the answer is when that Loki never had a chance to actually be a Loki, right? She got kidnapped as a kid. She didn't have a New York. She was never trapped on Sakaar. She never learned proper magic. She spent her adult life, which could have been 1,000 years, hiding in different apocalypses. But yet at the same time, she still has the intrinsic quality of a Loki, which is to gravitate towards chaos and mischief, that wherever she's going, she's causing a huge disruption, just like a Loki would. So I'm totally doing a 180 on this character and loving the Sylvie character, finding her worthy, just like you got to be worthy to pick up Mjolnir. She's definitely worthy of the horns. I'm liking the performance. I'm liking the character. So yeah, just outstanding episode for me. And I was like, I know they're going to turn it around. I know they're going to pick up the pace and get back on track. But this was like, a really terrific sort of buffet of a lot of great MCU stuff and the Loki characters in this as well. And you just could not top that ending. That ending of that episode probably wiped out 2 or 3 actual competing comic book franchises. It's like it's over for you. We never have to watch those again after seeing 4 Lokis, face one grounded Loki. We're here. We're in a multiverse of possibilities, and I'm just so glad that Marvel and Disney have opened up that door sort of officially for me.
Yeah, and I'm surprised nobody of you has mentioned it, but Lady Sif, she all of a sudden appeared. That was great, man.
Yeah.
I mean,
yeah, like I said, lots from the MCU sort of fabric bringing her back in. Now we see that a movie character can easily move into the television show, and we might see Sif again later down the line in a movie. All bets are off with Disney Plus, man. This experiment, this little thing that they put together and told us we're making hundreds of shows, so far it's really working out for them.
Yeah. Kevin Feige also mentioned this week, with all the Black Widow promotion going on, that he would not rule out the possibility of a team-up event on Disney Plus as well. So instead of going to the movie theater with a team-up, he actually he doesn't rule out the possibility they will do it on Disney Plus. So if you're not streaming this particular streaming service, you're gonna miss out. I'm afraid, as an MCU fan, and that's a whole other debate. Jeff, you had something to say to us.
Yeah, just basically in reaction to what Taylor and Lord Deathman said, I kind of feel like with Sophia DiMartino, the last time we did the show, I didn't want to like do it with her. What when it came to like praising her and everything, and like her acting and like the character and everything in the show, because like on one hand we'd only gotten so much of her at that point, and like look, it's very clear that Marvel Studios elevates certain characters in these Disney Plus series. They've done it in every one of the series. They've elevated certain characters like Monica Rambeau in WandaVision, where you know what I mean? Like, yeah, she was really good in WandaVision, but they really put the spotlight on her to be like that it character, like in the show. They set it up for her. It was like a layup for her, as far as I'm concerned. And so I'm just saying, like, again, contrasting the different series that we've seen going, and then looking at Loki, I feel like, there's like having Sif in the show really wasn't that like big of a deal to me, but it establishes that connective tissue with with phase 1, phase 2, phase 3 of the MCU and everything. And like that's an important aspect I feel like that we all as fans really enjoy, is that connective like that connectivity that like all the properties have and everything. And I felt like we didn't have that with Falcon and the Winter Soldier. Like really, like you know what I mean? And
you get the Don Cheadle cameo in the beginning, and of course WandaVision has indeed Monica Rambeau and Jimmy Woo. So you have that a little bit, but yeah, indeed, but just a glorified cameo. More, it wasn't more of Lady Sif. Just throws you back to the Dark World and Thor 1, and yeah, that brings, yeah, that's amazing how they do that. I don't really have much else to say about this episode, except that I absolutely loved it. It elevated the show. In fact, on Wednesday when I watched it in the morning when it came out. When I got home and sat on my couch, I actually binged the whole Loki show so far again. And then, yeah, it really connected the dots for me and elevated the whole show to the level I expect from Marvel Studios. So I was actually quite pleased with it. Still, I think episode 3 was a bit of a filler episode, and it because, yeah, it really didn't do much for me except 1 or 2 lines, which may prove important later or have proven important later. And I agree that the Mobius Loki dynamic is what carries this show for the most part, and I absolutely love it. And Owen Wilson just kills it. He's great. I think it's time to do ratings. Taylor, may I have your rating for this week's episode?
I'll give this episode a 10 out of 10. It was excellent, and it really set up the final act of the show.
For Deafman.
I'm going to give this episode an 11 out of 10. Again, it's my favorite episode of all of the Disney Plus shows that have come thus far. I think it was beautifully balanced, well-paced. It had incredibly thrilling moments, extremely suspenseful, and I can't point to anyone who wasn't carrying their weight as an actor or department, special effects, whatever you want. The episode was just incredibly well executed. 11 out of 10.
Jeff.
Wow, I mean, I feel a lot of pressure now after like a 10 and an 11 coming right
Top
off the
that,
bat.
Jeff.
I'm kind of like thrown off. I don't really know what to say now. I hadn't really thought about it either. I hadn't even really ranked it yet. But I guess I'd have to say, if I had to just throw it out there, I'd give it like a 9.5. Just because like I really want to save my 10s for like like future episodes and like of this show and like the next the What If series when that comes out. I want to save those 10s for like, because you never know. Like I have a feeling that Marvel Studios is going to give us like some more killer episodes of like other shows and stuff like that, like in the future, where I'm gonna want to like hold on to those 10s. So I'll give it a 9.5. And who knows? We got 2 episodes left. I might drop a 10 at some point. It could happen.
Oh, well, we'll see. Before I give my rating, Taylor has a follow-up comment.
Yeah, Jeff, if you're running low on 10s, I could lend you some at a very low price.
Well, Taylor, I'll tell you what, man. You are definitely an optimistic, like positive MCU fan, and I appreciate that about you because, like, you appreciate the fact that you have to enjoy the stuff. You have to enjoy it. Like, you know what I mean? Like, it's one thing to critique the stuff, but you have to enjoy it as a fan. And like, I know that like when you see Black Widow and everything, you're probably going to be pretty happy to see some MCU content after a year and a half. Or like MCU film, I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Thank you.
Yeah.
Master, I wanted to ask you, did you get your tickets for the Black Widow film?
Not yet. They're going on sale on Monday.
Oh.
So it has been confirmed that the movie theater chain I go to in my country has reached an agreement with Disney, so they're going to show the movie. I have a choice of 3 cinemas in close proximity because I live near a bigger city. So I have some choice. It all depends on what timing fits me well, which theater I go. So we'll just have to wait and see. I will rate this episode now. I'm gonna give it a 9 out of 10. I absolutely love this episode from start to finish. And yeah, I'm fully on board with Loki now. And yeah, it's I won't change my ratings for this episode 2 and 3. But yeah, this episode also elevated those 2 episodes as well. It was just great. I'm not so much in love with Loki as I was with the Falcon and the Winter Soldier, which is my all-time favorite MCU content so far. But yeah, Loki has raised its bar. Except so there's not much need for a limbo dancing right now. Are you guys ready for our next segment called Cannonfodder?
So ready.
Cannonfodder.
Okay, well, here it comes, Cannonfodder. And before the first theory we're going to discuss of the fans, and the fans did a little bit better than last week when I had trouble to find ones. Now there were quite some good ones. We're getting closer to the end of the show, so really theories about the deep fabric of the show are not there, but there were some nice things out there, a few silly ones out there, and I picked some. And the first one is about the Nexus event that got Sylvie abducted. And the theory there is that the Nexus event that got her abducted by the TVA was the fact that Sylvie wanted to be a Valkyrie as a mirror thing towards Thor wanting to be a Valkyrie, which he discussed in Thor Ragnarok with Valkyrie. You see her play with the Valkyrie in the beginning, the toy Valkyrie in the beginning of the episode, and then they pick her up. She wants to be a good person, a hero, and the TVA just can't have the god of mischief or potential god of mischief be a hero, and that's what got her abducted. So I thought it was a nice little theory. Taylor, what did you think? Buy, sell, or hold on that being the reason why she got abducted?
Sell. I think we have no idea why she was abducted or what the Nexus event was. I think that theory is a total stab in the dark based on nothing whatsoever. I'm sure when Tom Hiddleston Loki was a little kid, he probably dreamed of being a hero. He still thinks he's a hero. Yeah, every villain thinks they're a hero. So wanting to be a hero doesn't change the fact that you're a villain. Yeah. Also, go ahead. Sorry.
It's more about Loki or Sylvie wanting to join the Valkyrie and be a hero. actually, instead of thinking you're a hero because you're the god of while you're being the god of mischief. It's actually
Still,
being said by Mobius, huh? You were born to cause pain and hurt.
I'm still selling. I still think there's not enough information to hang your hat on that theory in any way, shape, or form. And I will say that young Sylvie Loki had some really awesome toys, and I wish I had those toys.
Being jealous at the kid. Jeff, what did you think? What do you think? Sell, buy, or hold on this
Can you
theory?
give me the basic gist again of what the theory is with this? Because
The theory is that the Nexus event that got Sylvie abducted is the fact that she wants to be a Valkyrie, that she wants to be good, like a mirror. In Thor Ragnarok, Thor wanted to be a Valkyrie and be a hero. In her timeline, in the timeline where she was from, Sylvie Loki, wanted to be the hero, and the TVA can't have that. She's born to cause harm, to hurt people, to cause pain. That's the theory.
well, I guess I would hold it just because I sort of understand the idea of it, but like I'm just not really completely sure if it's plausible or if it isn't plausible yet. So like I mean, I'll just hold for now, I guess.
Okay, fair enough. Lord Deathman, buy, sell, or hold on this Sylvie theory?
Well, much like my colleague on the panel, Jeff, I'm going to hold on this one. I do think that there's significance in the TVA abducting her at that particular moment. So there was some germ or an idea or something thematically that was happening while she was exploring the ideas of playing with that toy and projecting herself into the role of a Valkyrie. I'm not going to say that she wanted to be a Valkyrie, but I'm holding on this because I think the TVA wants everyone to sort of play their predestined role in the sacred timeline. And something about that moment was about Sylvie wanting to do something different that didn't fit into their overall narrative of the way existence should play out. So I'm holding on this one with diamond hands.
With diamond hands. Ooh. Okay, we move on to the next theory. And yeah, this is about pruning, actually. When you get pruned, apparently you wake up in a place where there's a lot of other variants. And the theory is actually that that place contains all the pruned variants. The TVA has moved away, and there has been a lot. You've seen that in the beginning of the show. And among them, and we're going to meet him, is Frog Thor. What do you think? Buy, sell, or hold? Miss Jeff, what do you think?
I'm going to sell. I really don't think we're going to get the Frog Thor. I don't see it happening. I don't see any reason why that would actually occur. I mean, it's possible, but I'm going to sell it.
Well, it's basically based on Alligator Loki.
Okay, I see. I'm still going to sell it.
Okay. Lord Deathman, what do you think? Buy, sell, or hold? Frog Thor showing up.
I'm selling, and I'm selling pretty cheap on this one. I don't think that they would introduce Frog Thor only because that character is kind of a cult character, but still fairly well known. And to kind of throw Frog Thor into the mix kind of sucks all the air out of the room for Loki and the other Lokis. So yeah, nice try, fandom. I'm selling.
Okay, maybe Taylor will go out on a limb and buy, but I have a feeling Taylor.
I was ready to hold this until you said Frog Thor. If the theory is that Frog Thor is going to be there, I'm going to have to sell. I think that would throw too much of a monkey wrench into the last 2 episodes. I don't think it's going to happen.
Yeah, not even like Howard the Duck in Guardians cameo type of thing. Marvel did it before.
Anything's possible, but I'm still selling.
Okay. I'm sorry, fans. You're not getting anywhere with this series today with our panel. Well, maybe you will prove them wrong. Uh, the last one is about the mastermind, the evil mastermind who created the TVA. And some people say we already seen the character. And the character that is the mastermind, the evil mastermind behind the TVA with a dark agenda is Miss Minutes. Lord Deathman, buy, sell, or hold on Miss Minutes being the big baddie of the show.
I've heard this Miss Minutes theory, and I've seen a couple of fairly prominent YouTubers do entire videos on Miss Minutes being the mastermind of the TVA. I'm gonna have to sell on it. I know Miss Minutes is probably more than she seems as this kind of animated character that's kind of guiding you through the whole thing. She may turn out to be something different than she actually is, but the overall mastermind of this entire plot, to reframe existence the way that someone wants it to be, yeah, I'm gonna have to sell. Not too cheap, but I'm selling.
Okay, Taylor, buy, sell, or hold. Miss Minutes is the big bad of the show.
Yeah, I'll hold on that one insofar as I don't think Miss Minutes herself is the big bad, but I think she may be revealed to be like an avatar for the big bad. If you know what I mean. So I think she could be like the, a representation of the big bad that the big bad is using.
Maybe the avatar that keeps an eye on whatever going on the TVA while the big bad. And who would the big bad be? Kang?
I think that's a possibility. As far as Kang, and I'm not even getting into Kang here today. I don't think it's going to be Kang. I just don't.
Yeah, but I'm still hoping for the Jonathan Mayers.
We have no idea at this point. They've given no clues as to who it is that I've noticed anyway. So yeah, Miss Minutes I'll hold just because it's possible that Miss Minutes is, like I said, an avatar of whoever's actually pulling the strings.
Okay, Jeff, buy, sell, or hold on the theory that Miss Minutes is the big bad of the show.
Definitely selling, and would not be surprised if we don't even see Miss Minutes again in the series.
Okay, not a big fan, apparently.
He just threw that out the window with a wheelbarrow.
That was consequentially important to the show at all, really.
Okay. There are some teasers from Tara Strong, the voice of Miss Minutes, that there's more to the character than meets the eye, but we will have to wait and see. Well, a small hold from Taylor, and the rest of the panel is selling this very fandom. I guess you have to do better to convince our panel to buy. We'll just have to wait and see what happens next week. Jeff, I think our episode review is done. You had something to say about the Shang-Chi trailer?
Oh yeah, I just wanted to point it out, just bring it up to everybody, just because I thought it would be interesting. I'd love to see what Taylor and Lord Deathman and you thought of seeing the Shang-Chi trailer that came out, because I mean, I don't know, the first one, I was kind of like iffy, like 50-50 on it, but this last one that came out, like I believe it was last week or whatever, I think it was great. I don't know. Taylor, what did you think, man?
Yeah, I love the new Shang-Chi trailer. I thought the first one was fine. I didn't have any issues with the first one, but this one was definitely, definitely broadening the scope of the movie and showing us a little glimpse without giving away anything, which Marvel is so good at. They never give away anything. Without giving away anything, they did give us a glimpse of just the scale and how much is going to be connected to the rest of the Marvel universe. So yeah, I thought it was a great trailer.
Yeah, I thought it was great too. We discussed it at length last week, of course.
Yep.
Yeah. So I thought it was an excellent trailer. Better than the first one, which I also liked. And the movie just looks like it's going to be a lot of fun. I'm just really glad that Marvel decided to make good for the fans who felt like the Mandarin hadn't been handled properly in Iron Man 3. Although I kind of disagree with that personally, I'm glad that Marvel is sort of addressing that. So that's like the only thing on my agenda for the film. Like, that'll be interesting to see what they do with Tony Leung and how he portrays the Mandarin. If everyone is going to be happy with that. But outside of that, the film looks bananas. I mean, it just looks incredibly gorgeous in terms of the way it's shot, cinematography, the color that's just bursting right off the page. There's a comic bookiness to it that I think a lot of the fans are going to respond to.
Yeah, talking about trailers, of course, we all eagerly or anxiously anticipate the No Way Home trailer. Do you guys think
I'm hurting for that caper.
do you guys think we will get it before Black Widow drops, or do you think they will wait until Loki is done? Because it's quite obvious that the mid-credit scene of Loki episode 4 showed a little bit like what is been rumored No Way Home is gonna be like. So there are some people out there who think we will get it after the Loki finale. What do you guys think?
I already heard a rumor that they're definitely going to drop the Spider-Man trailer when Black Widow plays in theaters.
So next week, basically.
Yeah.
Early in the beginning of next week.
Yeah. That's what I heard. I heard that a pretty solid rumor that that's when it's going to drop. So hopefully I'll see it when I go to the premiere. But I didn't. I found the other night someone was telling me that they're having like some Thursday night showings of like the film for like teasers or like of the film or something like that at certain theaters. They're not doing it at my theater, but I heard that rumor too actually.
In the Netherlands, it's like the new movies start playing on Wednesdays. And actually, if you were to go out on Tuesday night late, like say, and you can catch midnight showings of the new Marvel movie. So basically, for you guys, the spoilers are gonna drop like 8 p.m. on Tuesday night for you guys, Eastern Standard Time. So because in Europe they will get to see the movie. So then from that moment on, spoilers will drop. So if you don't want to get spoiled, be careful on the web after that time.
I think they're going to show the No Way Home trailer in front of Black Widow. I'm hoping for that at least. That would be awesome.
That would mean it would have to drop in the first 3 days of next week.
Yeah.
It would make sense, by the way.
Yeah. And looking at the whole timing of this with Black Widow, with Loki, and with No Way Home, I know I'm starting to spin, probably something that's not very credible or plausible, but it is interesting that Disney was willing to go head to head with themselves with Loki, penultimate episode, and debut Black Widow on streaming and in theaters at the same time. So they're competing with themselves and show the No Way Home trailer. It seems like it could be a lot, but I'm feeling a crossover, guys. I'm feeling like there's a reason that all 3 of these things are going to happen at once. And I wouldn't be surprised if we see some small synergies across the 3. That's, what I'm really hoping for.
I'm just happy. Next week, I'm going to sit in the theaters and I will get before Black Widow even starts, I will get a Shang-Chi trailer on the screen. I will get the Eternals teaser on the screen and possibly the No Way Home trailer on the screen. It's crazy. Taylor, you wanted to say something?
Yeah, actually, Lord Deathman pretty much said what I was going to say. I thought that dropping the first trailer for another movie during the premiere of a current movie seems like it would take some attention away from the movie that you're premiering right now in the fandom and on the internet and all the discussions. I don't know if Marvel's ever done that before. Maybe they have. I'm sure it's not going to hurt them.
They are a little bit early. I distinctly remember they dropped the Thor Ragnarok trailer and the Black Panther trailer quite early, so it could fit in with. Was it Spider-Man Far From Home? Yes, I think so. Spider-Man Homecoming. Sorry. So.
It just seems like the the coin of the realm is discussions on the internet, and if you would want people discussing the movie that's in theaters now as much as possible, as opposed to discussing the trailer that came out on the same day. They might do it. I'm sure they'll get along just fine. Feige knows better than me, but it just seems like that is unusual.
No, but it's like how to say. It's all the same franchise. So if they talk about product thing A in the franchise, and they hear thing B is actually debuting that week, then that will also draw a extra crowd. So I think it reinforces each other.
Yeah, that's true. That may well be. And I've never stopped going to theaters. I've probably gone to 10 movies in the theaters in the past year. Our theaters have been open for the most part, but not having an MCU movie to see in the theaters has been painful. So I cannot wait to see Black Widow in the theater.
Hear, hear.
This afternoon I went to the movie theater for the first time in a long time, and I actually checked together with my wife, and we went to 2 movies since COVID hit in the summer of last year. So it's almost been a year since I've been to the movie theater. Last year it was end of August. I saw Tenet, and then this year, of course, in July I saw A Quiet Place 2. That's I think the longest I have been out of this movie theater in a long time.
Yeah, I have not been back to the movies since the pandemic started. I'm in a big metro, lots of people. So Black Widow is going to be a homecoming for me coming back to the theaters. I've lined up back-to-back shows for the day. So I'm going to see it twice in the same day. So it's a little bit of overkill to come back. And then I'm doing a group watch of the same thing on Disney Plus when I get home. It's like 2 buddies that we're going to watch it together. And they're in different countries. So we're going to try to organize that. So I honestly can't wait for Black Widow. Favorite character of mine. If you guys have read the boards on Sicard, you know my stance on the character. Love her to death. Love Scarlett Johansson's portrayal of the character, since Iron Man 2. And while I have been gorging, pigging out on the promotional material, I have not listened to any reviews. I have been kind of obsessively, like twice a day with the RT score, like where is it now? What's going on? But no, I refuse to listen to any of the reviewers on Black Widow. So I just want to have a cleansed palate for when I sit down and really watch this thing and enjoy it, with a couple of friends.
Yeah, Taylor, before I go to you, I want to point out to any viewers here that are not familiar with the board, we are tracking the Rotten Tomatoes score on the board. And of course, we will also track the box office numbers for the MCU in a special dedicated thread. Starting next week, we will, when the numbers come in, we will update it daily on the board. So we get to see Black Widow rise to the throne of the box office in the coming weeks. Taylor.
Yes, and we'll also have a separate spoiler thread for spoiler discussion on the board as well. As far as the schedule goes, my schedule is such that I'm going to try and see an early show on Saturday so that I can participate in our discussion Saturday afternoon. Hopefully I can work that, but I will probably see it a second time on Sunday with a family member. So, and that's very, very rare for me. As a matter of fact, the last movie I saw in the theater twice, I believe, was Aliens in 1986.
Oh, wow.
But I will probably be seeing Black Widow twice in the theater.
Well, Aliens, that was worth it, at least. That was totally worth going back a second time.
You bet it was. What a great movie.
Yeah.
Okay. Before we close out our review, I would like to give the word to Jeff so he can do some promotion for his channel.
Yes, most definitely. Thank you very much, Grandmaster. I appreciate that. And I just wanted to point out that the MCU's Bleeding Edge does have a podcast, does have a YouTube channel. We have a website. It's the MCU's bleedingedge.org, all lowercase. And we go off every Wednesday evening at 9:05 p.m. Eastern, and we cover the MCU and do reviews just like they do over here on the Podcast of Champions. Maybe not as good, but we do our best, and that's pretty much it. Subscribe to our YouTube channel and check out the podcast. It's on through Anchor, and it's on all the different podcast distribution platforms. But thank you very much, guys, for having me on, as usual. I really do appreciate my time here and everything. I enjoy being on here. It's nice to have a chance to just be a guest on a show, So, thanks. I appreciate it, guys.
I know what you mean because I had the courtesy of being a guest on your show, and I hope to be on soon again. I really enjoy your channel and your content, and I can only say, please check out his channel because it's actually excellent, just as good as we are. And if we are good enough, it's up to the viewers, of course. Well, that will conclude our Loki episode 4 review. Before we finish, I would like to ask you all to hit that subscribe button and notification bell on YouTube, follow us on Twitter, like our Facebook page, join the forum on Sakar, sakar.freeforums.net. You can talk to us. You can even be on the podcast or review if you want. Just be a member of Sakar and you can be. We love to talk to you. Well, you won't have to miss us. We won't have to miss you in that case. Thank you, and see you next week for a review of episode 5. And be on the lookout. We will be reviewing Black Widow, and it will drop a week from now, I guess. Goodbye.